Hey folks, I've got a 2008 Chevy Avalanche here, and it was blowing some smoke on startup. It only did it one time, but I read that it's because of the original equipment valve cover where the PCV goes in, and there's a channel here, and this opening is where the ventilation goes, and I guess it causes some excessive oil or something like that. So this is the original equipment valve cover, and you can see it's 12570427. Now the replacement, this is actually a Dorman valve cover, but it's got this opening here that would put it closest to the front of the engine. So I guess that is supposed to take care of the issue with burning excessive oil and some other problems. But anyway, I just wanted to show the differences here. This is the Dorman part number 264-965, and it was actually pretty easy to take out. Basically, I took the shroud off the top of the engine. You just have to lift that off. And then for removing the valve cover, you can see I've got the entire coil pack down here, and that's just held on with 4 bolts. So you don't have to remove all the individual coils. You can just take the coil bracket off the top of the valve cover, and then the only other thing is I got the vacuum out of the way, and I also took off the PCV hose, and that's really all you have to do. And then just remove 4 bolts in the center of the valve cover, and the thing pops right off. And then I just cleaned everything up, the gasket sealing surface, and I'm about ready to put this thing back on. So I'll get a shot with just the valve cover, and then also with the coil pack on top of it. Okay, here's a shot with the new valve cover back on. As I said, there's only 4 bolts in the center of the valve cover right there, and I put the PCV hose back on the fitting on the back of the valve cover. So next I will get the coil pack back up into position, and that just goes up on top of the valve cover. And again, it'll get held on with 4 bolts. So let's see if we can, okay, that's set right there, and there's 4 bolts that hold it up on top, and they're like studs. So you can see there that I've got the first one on there. So I'll get those tightened up, get my vacuum hose back up on there, get the coil wires plugged back in, put the shroud up on top of the engine, and it will be done. Okay, we'll get another shot here with the coil packs up on top of the valve cover, and there are 5 studs, but here's one of them, and there's one up under here, one down here, and then the wire harness gets connected to one, and then there's one in the back of the bracket. Anyway, I got my connectors all put on here, the main connector for the coils, and then the individual coil connectors. And then I also put my vacuum hose back in the brake booster. So all I have to do is put the top shroud on the engine and should be good to go.